Okay.
Thanks,
I
Belinda,
just
for
looked.
reminding me to record. Okay, so I want to
Yeah.
tell you a couple of solutions for easy virtual parties. I was never a person that liked posting for days and days and days, and I wanted interaction, like real people interaction, like we have here. So since my host in March had dates picked out, I just said, let's tell them the show's still on. We're just taking it virtual. Okay, so the party's still on. So I would occasionally post like once or twice leading up to the show, because that's as much as I would normally post coming up to an in-home party. And then I just went live, live from my kitchen, and made my dinner in front of them.
Where do you set up your camera for that?
I have it, I got a small kitchen right now. I have it.
Yeah.
I have a little twisty thing. It's like $14 on Amazon, and it clicks onto anything. It's on a cabinet, and I have it so it like gets the whole view of my counter. And so I kind of lean in when I'm talking, and then when I stand back, you can see my cutting board, and so I can do all the slicing and dicing and chopping. Now, my posts ahead of time, I post a poll, and I tell them, I show lots of gadgets, but I focus on one power tool. What power tool do you most want to see? And I set up a poll so they can vote on what power tool. I asked them, one day I post and ask them, what pet peeve do you have in your kitchen? Maybe I have a solution for it. If I do, I'll show it when I go live on Thursday or whatever day. So they post if they have a pet peeve. And then the next day I post a link for the virtual, the interactive catalog. I tell them to look through it, don't order, but just look through it, and then let me know if something catches their eye that they want to make sure I show them when I go live. And then I've been going Facebook Live for about a half an hour or so. When the recipe's in the microwave or whatever, I tell them about the specials. I tell them about why they might want to consider the business. All the stuff I used to say live, I just say it there. I mean, so for me, this is just a much better fit. And I have 4 of these a week booked for the first 2 weeks of April. I'm just going to make my dinner and get paid for it Monday through Friday. Craziness.
Perfect.
Yeah, and what I noticed that people are booking because they were like, oh, it was so cool to get to see it. They can post their questions in the comments section. I told the host to keep an eye out on for the questions, and if I miss one, to kind of like type in capitals, so-and-so had a question. So it's been working out really well, super easy, not hard to track, and I don't feel like I'm living on the computer, because that does not bring me joy. The way Michelle Weinstein is doing it, she is doing it via Zoom like this. So she is getting 3 hosts a week, and she's setting up a different event or group for each one. She is posting for, a number of days, but she has a Zoom link that she has posted in all 3 events, the same Zoom link. So she goes live once, and all of the people who want to be part of that Zoom thing all come together, same date, same time. But then
they're all different parties.
They're all different parties, so they have access to different links for shopping. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's the way she's doing it, and she's saying that the attendance has been good. Sometimes it's glitchy, people aren't used to it. There's noise in the background, but whatever. It's not going to be perfect, but who cares? But so those are just some of the solutions that people are finding. Of course, if you're already a virtual consultant and doing your 3 or 4 or 5 day parties and they're working for you, don't change a thing. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I just want to let you know there are other options for virtual parties if posting for days is not your thing.
I just wanted to say something. There was a webinar today on booking, and they actually suggested doing a 1-hour virtual party with only 13 posts, and it looks really neat. You post something every 5 minutes, and that's for the people that say they don't have time and they have young kids.
That's a great idea. Yeah, so we had that idea that went out that it was like the 15-minute texting thing. So this is sort of, I'm guessing it's like that, only a little more elaborate.
It's a regular virtual party, because I know I've been on one of the paparazzi text thing, and let me tell you, it drives me bonkers because your phone is constantly dinging and it makes your phone go dead. But with this one, you're only getting, you're getting the messages on your Facebook wall, but it's through your group every 5 minutes.
Yep, for an hour. That's
for an hour.
a great way of doing it. Yeah, so you don't have to post for days and days. You set it up, people invite, and then you just go on there. And then you don't even have to go live. If you're too nervous to go live, all you're going to do is post.
Actually, I don't even think that was part of, because I actually took a screenshot of.
I don't even, it doesn't sound like you go live. It sounds like you're just posting for an hour.
No, there was an intro slide, engagement post, first meal with a recipe, follow-up tools, second meal with recipe, follow-up tools, third meal with recipe, follow-up tools, and you do 5 of them, and then the last one is your end of party post.
Is this on Dash, or where was this?
No, this was actually done through Pampered Chef.
Yeah, you log in.
They're doing webinars weekly now through the rest of the virus.
And they did say that they would record them, so they will be available.
Yes, it was recorded.
Have you guys heard of the Zoom bombing? It's like you're in a Zoom bombing. It's like you're in a Zoom party or whatever, or people have it in their classrooms and whatnot, and then somebody hacks the Zoom meeting and like puts all porn and whatnot.
That's if the Zoom is public.
Oh,
no, you have to keep it private, and you have to shut off the ability for anybody else to post anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, but they're hacking into it is what they're doing.
Right, but if you do those, that I actually heard something from Zoom saying if you change your settings, that it won't happen. It can't happen. They can't.
Also, Josh would like to know, he writes, Karen, could you post your revised script for this new party concept live from my kitchen?
Absolutely. I'm writing this down so I don't forget to do it.
Oh, and he just
How
wrote
about
again.
Since we have a big something.
Pivot. Could the director team brainstorm some words to say and maybe a booking incentive to help us get motivated? I like the booking incentive we did around Halloween. Wow.
I don't remember
Josh, you go way
Halloween.
back.
Next time I'll just say it in the Zoom. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
There you go.
What did we do at Halloween?
I can't remember, but it was something about this many parties that you book, you get and it had a catchy Halloween post a gift.
Oh, it's a booking blitz.
Yes.
Okay.
And I don't think we've done anything like that since then. And I remember thinking, oh, that's cool. That'd help me stay on track. But it's just
we've done some.
We did the scavenger hunt.
Yeah, and snowball. We had to hit people with snowballs.
12 days of Christmas or 12 days of business. Yeah, we could.
I love your flamingo, Erica.
Erica.
Oh
yeah. We did a bingo last night, and Karen told me I had to wear this tonight. So here we are.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I thought it was a filter.
Oh no, it's very real. I'm also working. I'm working on my my World of Hearts window behind me.
Wow!
Oh, nice.
Look at them all.
Awesome.
In my project today.
Yeah.
I'm having technical issues though. You can't see
the hearts or with your Zoom.
Is your technical issue called TJ?
TJ? Oh, TJ, no. He's been helping.
Good.
Yes, thank you.
As far as words to say, I created a unit called Feeding America, like March and April or something like that. And there's lots of information on there about how to set up a Feeding America fundraiser, words that you can use if you're texting or PMing, words for a post along with an image that you can use. And I think this is going to be huge. I reached out to a couple of people and just reached out about a fundraiser. Of course, most people say no, but one said yes. And what we did was we did it like, so one person pulled in a friend, and they worked together on it. And they invited a ton of people, and they each were posting, because I would give them an idea that I would give to any host about posting, and they were really running with it. And the fundraiser ended up at $2,300 in sales. And what I did was every day I would post how many meals that meant. So I'd take the sales, multiply it by 0.3 to get 30%. And then every dollar raised is 10 meals for local families in need. So multiply that by 10 or just move the decimal point over. I could teach math, right? And then I would say, this is how many meals have been raised so far. And guys, by the time we were done, it was like 7,691 meals. I mean, it was just, wow. And it made people feel good. It made them feel like, they're part of something bigger. People were encouraged to post it to their wall. And so that's when I came up with the 15-minute fundraiser idea. That's another thing that's posted there. You can set up a fundraiser, reach out to people, see if they'd like to host a Feeding America fundraiser. If they say, yeah, no, I just can't right now, say, okay, well, if I'm going to be setting one up, would you be willing to post the link with a blurb to your wall? Who's going to say no to that? So then you keep track of who said yes, that they would post it to your wall. You keep track of those who say yes, that they would host one. And then you've got probably, if you reach out to 20 people, you'll probably have 15 who'll say, I'll post my wall. And then you don't even have to set up an event on Facebook or anything, or a group on Facebook. You just set it up on Consultants Corner, come up with a blurb, personal message it to the people who said they'd post it on their wall, and they just copy and paste it on the wall, and the link's right there, and people shop. So yeah. Now, so those are the ideas I've come up with in the last couple of weeks. Any of you have an idea or something you've been thinking about, but you just haven't been able to get any traction behind it that we can sort of brainstorm together?
So another one of the key things that they talked about today was making sure you follow up with your guests after. Ask them to see how they like their new product. If they have a big power tool, ask them if they want any recipes, and that will get them to start getting your trust. And ask them after you start talking to them for a while about perhaps booking a party or perhaps even becoming a consultant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, building that rapport.
Absolutely. And I started going through my whole contacts list actually this weekend, because I think, along with what Kimberly is saying, it's very important not to forget your customers right now. You might not have even spoken to them for a year or 6 months. Just give them a call, ask them if they're staying healthy. You don't even have to mention anything about Pampered Chef. Just do that connection with them, and they don't have to be a host, a recent host or whatever. Just connect with them. Just make some calls, and you'd be surprised. I'm doing the fundraiser for the disaster relief, and I did some calls this weekend, and that's when I said, hey, by the way, just want to let you know, if you do want to help, I can send you a link. I'm doing a fundraiser. Feel free, pop on. If there's something you like, just let me know. If not, just take a peek at the new products that are out there. But it doesn't even really have to even be anything per se Pampered Chef. Just ask them if they're healthy. Then they know you're caring. So I think that's important.
And engagement posts are key. The one example that was given today was, so who was stuck at home with the kiddos for the first 2 weeks? Drop a gift below that best describes how things will go down. They also suggested not to put comment below or stuff like that, because you can get thrown in Facebook jail. So they were just giving us different ideas of what to say, or even don't say comment.
Yeah.
They said to try to make sure to do everything on your group and your VIP pages, because a lot of people are getting thrown in jail right now because they are watching on Facebook.
Interesting. Okay, good to know. Yeah, one of the engagement posts that I did was I just took a picture of like a pound of burger and say, what's your favorite recipe? And people would post it underneath. And again, this is helpful for everybody, because many of us, when we got it in our freezer and we're trying not to go to the grocery store too often, and now you got a bunch of recipes, for a pound of ground beef.
I have to tell you, right before this call started, I spent about 10 minutes just catching up on a couple things on Facebook, and a friend had posted you know, when there's like an image with just text, and the text was, since we can't go to bars right now, tell me something your pets are doing, but instead say the drunk guy at the bar.
Oh, I love that.
I shared that one. That was great.
I saw it 6 hours later and there were like, 75, 80 comments. And I'm like, well, nothing I'm going to say is going to be unique, but the drunk guy at the end of the bar is licking his, you know what. And I thought right away, it has nothing to do with food, but that would be a great way just to break some ice in a virtual party and get people laughing.
Even, at your virtual parties or even in your VIP group, just to get people, like, we all know the people in our VIP group because they're customers, but they don't know each other. But this can get them kind of knowing each other too. Yeah, Belinda, you were going to talk, I think.
Nope. Oh. Wrong Belinda. Oh, it was Lynn.
Oh, Lynn.
The other Belinda.
Yeah, the other Belinda.
I posted up, I had to write it down so that I would remember, so I have to read it. I might have to read it. So now that we're spending so much time in our kitchens, which tools are actually working great for you and which are not? And then I said, and what might be missing from your kitchen now that you've gone back and look at those items? And so that kind of got people talking. And actually, that's how I booked one of the parties that I was just telling Karen about earlier. I comment and she's like, oh, I could really use some stuff. Can you send me a link? And then the more we talked, the more now she's doing a fundraiser. So
yeah. Anybody hearing hesitations that you just don't know how to address?
Well, I'm sure people are going to be like, well, I don't even know if I'm going to have a job next week, and that's tough.
Yep. I was talking to one of my coworkers and she, said, I'd love to have a party, but like nowhere anytime soon. And I said back to her, hold on, I can pull it right up actually. Sorry, guys. I told her that my focus right now is on in my eyes at this time, it's more about an excuse to be social with friends, play some games, random pantry recipes we've come up with, a nice distraction, And she was like, exactly, that sounds like fun. I'll message you about it tomorrow. So, I think that letting people know that I also said, if anyone wants to buy something, that's great, but it's not a requirement to come to the party. Some people don't know how they're going to pay rent or their mortgage right now, but there are some people trying to figure out how to balance parenting, working, teaching, and cooking 3 square healthy meals plus snacks between. And I have tools that can help them save time.
Exactly.
Good post.
I like that.
Yeah, that is good, Erica.
So,
very good.
So I love that, you acknowledge what people are feeling. We are going to hear these things, but the way I feel it is, no matter when or what's going on in the world, when we reach out about a show, people are going to have hesitations. Now the hesitations are different, but they're still just that, they're hesitations. And if we can change how people are thinking about things. And so yes, some people don't know if they're going to be at work or if they're going to have a job next week, but they're also not seeing their friends and would love to, and might need some ideas on how to save money on their food bill, because we've got some good recipes that could help them.
And another thing is that letting people know that when they become a consultant, they can write off their food expenses as tax deductible right now would be huge.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Is that still true though? Because they changed a lot of the deductible things for like self-employed and whatnot.
It's a percentage because my accountant actually wrote down for me what I can actually count for. Cool. Which mileage, any purchases, travel, hotel, taxi, airfare, and travel meals.
If we are practicing, what I was told, because by my tax guy, is if I am practicing a recipe that I have to do in front of people or with people, the first time or two that I do it, that I practice at home, it's tax deductible. And now that I'm doing demos from home, everything I demo, even if it's a recipe I've done 1 million times before, if I'm going live so that I can show a demo, that's considered a business expense.
I actually carry an envelope in my purse, and when I go to the grocery, I just drop the slip right in the envelope so that I know that those are the ones that I have, and you don't have to go searching it out.
Oh, remember grocery shopping?
I know.
When I used to, I'd say ring up these things separately, and I would get a receipt for that so that it would keep separate from the rest of the groceries in the house. But yeah, so guys, I said this in a video that I posted earlier, but I'll say it again because I think it bears repeating. More so than the virus itself, your business will be affected by what you tell yourself about the virus. If you tell yourself, a lot of people are worried about money and are going to be laid off, so I can't reach out to them. Or if you tell yourself, everybody's so worried right now, the last thing they want to think about is Pampered Chef. If this is what you're telling yourself, it's probably going to come to fruition, because what we believe to a great degree determines the actions we take. And if that's your belief, then your actions are probably going to be that you're only going to reach out to a very small group of people. And unless we reach out, we say anytime, 1 out of only 6 to 8 people are going to say yes to a party in any given time. So if you're giving yourselves those negative messaging and you reach out to 6 or 7 people and you don't get a yes right away, you're like, oh, forget it. And the results, the actions determine the results. And the results reinforce the belief. So that's why Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are correct. So my experience is, and I have never worked so hard as I have in the last couple of weeks to pivot successfully. I'm telling you, I don't usually have to work this hard for business. But now that I've successfully talk to people, and they didn't all just say yes. My hosts, I needed to have some conversations with them, similar to what who was saying about people looking for engagement and stuff like that. I forget who was talking.
Kimberly was saying that.
I did.
Yes. Oh my God, Erica. I'm like, wait a minute, who was it? Anyway, so yeah, it's going to take probably having some conversations. But what I'm finding is, once it took a little work to get that first host to do it. But then the people she invited, the people who came were the people who wanted to see what's new. They needed our products. They loved the social engagement. So getting bookings from those parties, piece of cake. Getting the initial parties took some work. Getting the bookings, like fishing in a barrel, I'm telling you. I mean, people are just glued to their devices. They're dying for social interaction. So so yes, now I would like a little bit of help. Josh, you are you wanted the booking blitz. What are we going to call this in April? It's raining. It's raining.
Showers, business powers. I don't know.
April showers. It's raining shows. I don't know. Anybody have ideas? Anybody?
Thinking.
Where'd Belinda go?
I don't know. I think she had to.
The dog had to go out.
I hope she comes back. I had a question for her.
It's
okay.
more in time to pivot your business.
That could be. All right. So be on the lookout. First, what I want you guys to do is
pouring parties.
What's that?
It's
pouring
parties. I like it.
Oh, I like that.
Parties.
Awesome. Boring.
What I want you to do before you guys hop off the computer and go back to your families and life, I want you to message your director. I want you to say, how, in a perfect world, if people just jumped and started texting you, I want a party, I want a party, I want a party, how many would you book in the month of April? And then I want you also to share how many team members you would like to add by the 15th, because the 15th is when the $19.80 kit is done. And then I will post something soon about it's pouring parties, and We'll get something going, maybe just a 3-day blitz where we just hunker down, nose to the grindstone and start booking some stuff. I would love to be the team that feeds the most hungry. I'm just telling you. Almost 7,000 meals. I got a lot of healthcare providers in my family. I've got people that live in big cities that are being hard hit, and I go from laughing one minute to crying the next. And nothing brought me more joy and gave me a sense of meaning, like, okay, I got to book some fundraisers. This is something I can do. So, if that helps you cope, join me in the fight. Let's see how many meals we can raise as a team. I think that would be just really fun and just something to sink our teeth in. So message your director. I don't know. I was hoping Belinda would be back by now, but
yeah.
So
I had a question about something that she had posted, and but I'm sure some of the rest of you have a idea about this too. So she had posted a thing about like adopt a nurse and buy the egg cooker, and I'll put stuff in it and bring them. So like, what are you putting in with it, and how are you getting it to the people that you're saying you're getting it for?
I know what we had, Belinda and I talked. We were talking like small, like little hard candies, mints, little chocolates, and a lot of us know personally people that work in the health field, so we could always drop it off on their doorsteps and they can deliver it to people that are actually right out on the line.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Working with the virus.
So with mine, I did protein bars, oatmeal packets, little box of raisins, and then I did actually offer some nuts on the side. I'm so familiar now with nut allergies. I always worry about that, but it's a good source of protein. My daughter is a nurse, and she says they're really struggling to get a decent meal. So that's why I decided to give them proteins instead of just a quick snack. They're running around for 5 minutes and then they crack. So I suppose you could do some beet, some that are sweets, some that are, but that's what I've done with mine. The oatmeal. Oh, and cake in a mug packs. You can buy the box of the cake in the mug, and it's like 59 cents or something like that. It's crazy at the dollar store. And you can just put one of those cakes in the mug little packets. It's sort of like a hot chocolate packet. And
I love that.
Yeah. So
K-cups with coffee as well will work, because I work in the medical field, and just being back this week, it's been just overwhelming of not having the time to stop even to get a cup of coffee, because you have to search for it, go to the store to get it. So
it's true. It doesn't have to be something that actually goes in the cooker. It could be something they can use.
Yeah, just something that would help them out. Just it's wearing me down, and I've just been back within a week after being off for 14 days, and there's plenty of things that healthcare providers are it's just all the little simple stuff that we take for granted that people
Sherry,
are just not having the time.
Sherry, if you have a minute to post to Avengers, like, I'm a healthcare provider. If you were gonna drop a care package off, here's what I think the people that the people I work with would really appreciate. Because if we're going to put them together, we want to put in, never enough coffee.
Yeah, what they're going to need. Yeah, what they want to use.
Yeah. And I forget, they all have K-cups. So, yeah, that's a good one. All right. Okay, well, it is almost 9. So I will let you guys go, but I will stay on for an extra couple minutes if anybody has any questions. Definitely message your director with those 2 numbers, and be on the lookout for It's Pouring Parties blitz that we're going to do.
Not porta potties either.
No, not porta potties. It's pouring parties. Watch my pronunciation.